All of those new handheld and tabletop arcade toys that My Arcade showed off back in January at CES have started to roll into retailers. And in this video, I have the Street Fighter II Micro Player Pro. We're going to take a look at it right after this. This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info. Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I am John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are in the midst of a renaissance of handheld and tabletop arcade toy products. We were in a huge drought for a while, but that's all ending. As I noted in this video, I have the new Super Street Fighter II Micro Player Pro from My Arcade. It's just going to retailers as we speak right now. We looked at the Pocket Player the other day. I'll throw a link to that up in the corner if you didn't get a chance to see it. But for now, we're going to take a look at this larger version, the big brother of that Pocket Player, the Micro. Let's head to the table. Oh, sorry, you caught me daydreaming about how cool it is to have brand new tabletop arcade gizmos to look at again. It's been way too long. This is the Super Street Fighter II My Arcade Micro Player Pro, brand new for 2023. And I say that very explicitly to make sure it's clear, this is not the one that came out a few years ago. You might remember this premium edition line. This was a genuine arcade ROM. It had this great big stick, kind of floppy. It had buttons, kind of out of order. It had a game in it, kind of screwed up logic. It was still cool, and they actually fixed most of those problems for us. This is not that. This is not the premium line. This is brand new in their Pro Edition line of both pocket players, micro players, nano players, all that kind of stuff. Now, the other day, we looked at the pocket player of this same title. It has the same games on it. I'm going to guess the same internals, maybe. So probably a lot of what we looked at the other day is going to apply here. But assuming you didn't see that, we're going to give you a full look at this new Micro Player Pro, starting with the exterior to see what we can learn. The sides of the box are adorned with what is mural-worthy artwork of Street Fighter II. On both sides, a collection of many of the characters that we enjoy playing. And around front, of course, we have a little Super Street Fighter II logo. And around back, we have a photo of the unit itself, and down below, what games are included. As we know, it has both Super Street Fighter II, the New Challengers, and Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition, which again, I will call New Challengers and Champion Edition, just to make things simple. As we saw, starting back with the Data East stuff last year, they have this little magnetic latch, and inside of the flap, way more detail about what's going on. This side is kind of some shots. Again, I can't believe putting this in a backpack, pretty big to do that, but I get it. It is portable. Nice beauty shots, how you can charge it, the batteries. And down here is a quick preview of the controls. So it has the manual inside, but it tells you what each of these 6 controls are for. We know what they are. They're either jabs or punches or, kicks or hard kicks, roundhouse, all that kind of stuff. The stuff you would expect out of a Street Fighter II cabinet, right? Okay, what do you say we get this guy open and check out the hardware? Once we get it freed from the packaging, here is our Street Fighter II Micro Player itself. Instructions, look, these aren't really instructions. It's like how to put in the batteries and where the buttons are in like 50 languages. So, that's garbage. Throwing that away. Here we have the catalog. Now, this is the old catalog, but the other day they released a new catalog brochure that had all the new offerings for 2023, and it looks like a checklist, so I'm using it like a checklist, and there is the Street Fighter II Micro Player checked off my list. And now we can get an up-close look at the hardware. We got a pretty good peek inside the packaging because it's clear, but now we can really dig in. Beautiful artwork on both sides here. A nice heavy sticker. I don't know if it's vinyl, but it's definitely a nice thick, heavy sticker. Glossy. And around here on the front, we start up top here with the teensy little Street Fighter II marquee. These don't light up, in case you were wondering. Then we have the screen, which is a 2.75-inch screen, same dimensions as the Pocket Player, so maybe it is the same screen. We'll see when we power it on. And then, of course, it's Street Fighter, so we need to pay special attention to what's going on this control deck, because that is important. First, this appears to be the new joystick standard for the Pro line of micro players. Gone is that screw-on, screw-off D-pad thing, and instead we have this, like a stainless steel or aluminum shaft bat-top joystick that's permanently mounted. Gone are the days of the super floppy Street Fighter joystick from My Arcade, so this one feels nice and tight, very springy. The buttons, which I'll note are in the red, white, blue order already, are the same as we saw on the previous Microplayer Pros that we have looked at. They're slightly concave, and they're far enough apart that you can get all three fingers on all three of them if you need to. And I would expect you're going to kind of play this with your fingers tucked up under it like this, or you might just hold your hands to the side like this. And that's going to be possible, I think, because of the rubber feet they put on. I'll show you in just a second. Now down here on the knee board, you'll remember that this coin door used to be the switch used for power on, power off. Those days are over. This is just a decal now, but there is a home button down here. I love the home button up here. What does that mean? I can't accidentally hit it up on the control deck up top because I have to reach down here with my thumb to get to it. That's going to save a bunch of accidental cussing from somebody that's in the middle of a fierce game and accidentally hits a home button. It's not easy to push down here. Good change. Now here on the bottom are those rubbery feet that I was alluding to. Two long strips the entire width of the unit to keep this thing from moving around on you when you have it sitting on a table. Check this out. See that? Yeah, the table's moving, but the unit is not. It's staying put on the table, so it should not slide around on you too easily, at least. While we are around back, let's take a look what's back here. Here's a power on-off switch. That's where that moved. Pretty standard for these Microplayer Pros now. Volume up, volume down, separate buttons here on the back. Just below that, a single rear-firing speaker that all is just above the battery door, which now has a safety security screw to keep it from falling open on you while you're playing or moving it around. And just below all of that, we have a headphone jack, a USB-C power in, not charging, but powering. So you can do batteries or you can do a USB-C. Great. And you have this variable brightness button. If it's like the others, it's going to be 3 levels of brightness, and we'll take a look at that in just a bit. All right, that should do for a hardware tour. Let's peel off this fake Street Fighter screenshot, then open up that battery door and throw in 1, 2, 3, 4 double A's, close it up, power it on, and let's check it out. Nope, we're walking in the arcade, and there's our micro player, My Arcade. That's the new intro it looks like for these pro players, and it's pretty cool. All right, before we jump into a game, let me talk a little bit about the screen brightness deal. So on the back is a little switch, you'll remember. It starts at medium. You can click it once to go to bright. Again, we'll go to the dimmest mode, and then you have the intermediate and the bright. So we'll just cycle those. They're not dramatically different, but I could see in low light situations, this would be pretty bright, and in bright situations, this would be pretry dark. And in the menu, we have either New Challengers or Champion Edition. So let's jump into New Challengers first and take a peek. We go ahead and turn it up. Now you remember we had a little tearing on the Pocket Player. Same screen, I'm guessing here. Yeah, same little look, just a little bit of tearing when it's full screen, super high contrast. But once you get into the game, we saw none of that. So let's kind of jump right in. Okay, New Challengers. All right, so several options you've got here. You can start a game, you can start a challenge game, or you can go to the options. Now, as we said when we looked at the Pocket, this is not the arcade ROM. This is a console ROM, very Sega looking, actually. The benefit you get out of a console ROM is you can do all the things you could do on a console, where you can set your difficulty, time limit, configure the keys, all that's available here. Super mode even is available if you want it. And then just start to back out of there. So why don't we go ahead and jump into a game, shall we? Yeah, now you can hear the sounds are not identical to the arcade because they are console samples, I guess, to fit on a cartridge, most likely, to fit on the chip that's inside of this. And a little bit of compression in the audio that we'll hear in the voices, but all in all, at a glance, I mean, it looks and plays like Street Fighter, and it's so close in the audio that it's, you know, I enjoyed the Pocket. I guess I'm going to like this one too. How about some Honda? How about Honda? Haven't done him in a while. Right into fire. I'm not doing great. I was fully trounced. Haha, take that. Oh, got a little fire on me. Ooh. Oh yeah, that long leg is going to get me. Ha, take that. That'll teach you to whoop me round one. Controls are fine. Take a little more time to get used to than I did with the D-pad, but it's really just, it's just that. It's just getting used to it. Oh, yeah, I'm getting off my moves. Ha, take that. And just keep the button running. Take that. All right. There's a little Honda match. No problem there. I guess we got to play some Ken. I will tell you, I've been a lot of practice, and I have had trouble getting off fireballs. I just can't get used to this controller. Your mileage may vary. I just want to be very upfront with you and let you know that I have not been doing great at using this controller. I had much better luck with the Pocket Player. But that could just be me. It absolutely could just be me, right? I mean, I can still kill these computers. Let's see if I get a couple of fireballs off at least. I can do it. It just doesn't come as fluidly to me. I'm sure there's just a learning curve in getting used to this controller that I spent an hour or so on it, and I've gotten okay, but not awesome. There's some fireballage. Yeah, I mean, they're happening. I'm getting better at it, so I guess so. Flawless victory. You can hear that little bit of compression like in that the elephant roar there. Sure. Who else could we do? I don't know who else I know well. Maybe I got to do Blanka, I guess. He's my man. Oh, the gray Blanka. That's always fun. Let's see how we can do. And of course, he doesn't require me to be as proficient with the fireballs, right? He's more of a charge character, so. Yeah. Haha. Ouch. Got her. Ouch, got me. What's close? Oh, she got me. Now I gotta do the rubber match to see if I can beat her. Haha, you see that coming, did you? Ouch, you saw that coming. Oh, she comes in from above and gets me every time. Woo! She got me. All right. She handed my butt to me. All right, now not only is the Champion Edition here, Hyper Fighting is here. So there is an options. Yeah, you can go in. There's even more stuff in the Hyper Fighting, or in the Champion Edition here. You have the music test and special effects test, just like you had in the console, right? And plus you can set the time limit, difficulty, all that fun stuff is here too. Very cool. And let's do a regular champion. I don't want to show you the Hyper because it's crazy. And if you can play it, you can beat anybody in anything. Oh, what are we going to do? How about some Dhalsim? Ouch! I hate Guile. He has my number, that dude, every time. I should just learn to not do that, I guess. That's the trick. Ha-ha! Take that. A little spike. Good for you. Ouch, I got thrown. Yeah. Got him! I don't like Guile. Every time I ever played in the arcade, whoever played Guile had my number. Got him. Ha-ha! Got you, Guile. Nice. All right, let me show you that Hyper Fighting. So you can come down to Hyper Fighting here and decide how hyper you want Hyper Fighting to be. Whoo! So I'll go ahead and die with this level and show you. If you're looking for a challenge, boy howdy, have I got a challenge for you. Here we go. I can't even keep track of which one I am half the time. It's so fast. This was it in the arcade, though. I actually won that round somehow. In the arcade, man, when you go to Hyper, if you could win that, and it was a quarter suck, too, because the round was over, like, in no time at all, right? I actually beat her. Okay, that's total accident. I'm not that good at Hyper Fighting, so... So we got the new challengers, we got the special edition. I said that I thought this screen maybe was the same screen from the Pocket Player. I'm not certain. It actually looks a little crisper. I don't know what that is, but it really looks good. I've been sitting here playing Street Fighter 2 for probably 2.5 hours because it's so much fun to play, and I'm trying to get better at the fireballs. But look, a Street Fighter experience, this thing definitely has one. Is it the right Street Fighter experience for you? That's what you're going to have to determine. Well, now you've seen it. What do you think? It's pretty well established. We know these are not the arcade ROMs. This is, in fact, probably a Sega Mega Drive modified ROM I would expect to run on there. It doesn't take a lot of horsepower to run those games. And I know that My Arcade is cost conscious. They know they could do arcade ROMs. We've seen it. We've seen it in that Space Invaders. We saw it in the other premium titles. But it drives the price so high that they're looking for a middle of the road. And I think they found a good middle of the road here. Would I like the arcade ROM? Well, sure, but why? In this case, it's not because the game is wrong, it's because it sounds a little different. There's compressed audio samples and stuff to fit on a smaller memory chip, right? But the gameplay, as I noted several times in here, is exactly what you would remember, what you'd expect out of Street Fighter 2. And not for nothing, but the console versions of Street Fighter, Sega, Super Nintendo, things like that, were actually pretty darn good. So I think back to that Contra they put the arcade ROM on, that people probably would rather have the NES Contra than the arcade version. So there is a case to say that the console versions of these have their following and are playable and enjoyable just like an arcade ROM would be. Before any of these new models hit my desk, I was really expecting to love the micro players and kind of like the pocket players. But in the case here, I think I actually enjoyed playing Street Fighter 2 on the pocket player that I reviewed earlier than I did on the micro player. Not for the reasons you'd expect. The screen is the same, the controls feel great. You saw that I had trouble with fireballs and dragon punches. I am not the guy who's going to blame the controller for that. You know that guy. I'm sure you've played with that guy. I'm not going to blame the controller for my inability to do those. I will say I know how to throw fireballs and do dragon punches, but no matter how much I practiced, I could not do them regularly with this joystick. I don't know why, whether it's something in the encoding or just the rotation of the stick or just something in my brain didn't feel right. Maybe it's because the stick was so small and I was doing it with my thumb, but I do that with the D-pad too, so that's not a good argument. The reason I bring all that up is to say your mileage may vary. You may have the same difficulty I did, or you might have no difficulty, so I'm not going to factor that in at all into my review. So when it comes though to putting a number on this for a review, look, ultimately it's the same game or games as is on the Pocket Player. It's an entirely different form factor and experience, but the gameplay is, as far as I can tell, identical, right? However, I enjoyed the Pocket Player a little bit more. I had no problems with this other than, again, the controller that I'm not holding against this little unit. So all in all, I would place this at about a 3¼ tokens out of 5. Look, if you are a diehard Street Fighter 2 fan, you don't care what my review is, you're gonna need this in your collection because it's cool. If you're a casual player, you might think about whether or not this one is for you or one of the other offerings that My Arcade has out in this new line, including 3 different Street Fighter 2 variations. Look, I should let you know before I leave that My Arcade provided this unit to me for free for review, but had zero oversight over what I had to say about it. Also, if you'd like to pick this one up or any of the new models, check the description of this video. There's links to all the new gadgets that are available that you can click and go directly to pick up. Look, I'm going to throw some links over my shoulders here and here to way more coverage of this new 2023 My Arcade line that I'll be doing. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video though, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.